His strength is made perfect in your weakness. Y'all, please excuse the tears. But I just caught a whole revelation. His strength is made perfect in your weakness. So anytime you feel like I have run out of patience, anything you need, he'll freely give it. Because see, when you're
So, if you want to see the rest of it, I invite you to go over to the 1212 community so that you can get the whole view. That was just a portion of the half an hour that she did. But if you missed it, go over to the 1212 community, join us, and you can see the full, not only hers, but you can see all the women that minister. And you'll see sometimes like that. I thought about it and I didn't want to stop it, but because of time, I thought about it and I said, well, Pastor Darlene was doing the same thing on Monday. She was crying as she was ministering because she had an aha moment. So I was like, so we're gonna have a lot of aha moments this month. But Erica, take a moment and take a. You don't have to take. We already in that. You don't have to take us back. We already in. But I thought it was so powerful, and I just wanted you to talk about it for a moment.
um the funny and ironic thing about this whole situation is, for those of you who are part of the 1212 community, and if you're not, you need to join because it's a whole revelation for your life as it is anyway. um I'm supposed to be in my year cycle 2. It's supposed to be a slower year. But I feel like so many things are coming so fast, and I'm like, well, Lord, if this is my slow year, I hate to see if it when it's time for it to speed up. But I think it's slow because God wants me to catch all the revelation for what's to come, right? And I've been in a situation since the year started where I'm having to deal with a lot of my own personal vows I've made to myself, my stance on the word of God, dealing with my own emotions because I'm being challenged in some places where I have to be very, very bold. And my patience is being tested. Now, I didn't ask for it, but God is like, okay, I'm going to elevate you in a place of patience in this season. And this is something that Alicia says I carry with me, and I've been speaking it for the last couple of months. God, because you don't give up, I won't give up. God, I trust you. I'm holding on to God's word. And I was in a place where I was literally about to tap out. And I have to think because Alicia puts it in the community. All right, did anybody mess up the community today? Anybody act up? And I want to make sure I'm not going to do that and stay with it by character and integrity on whatever it is that God has for me. I have to see what's happening on the end. At that moment, I've been in a place of great, I'm gonna say tribulation, frustration. Um, and at that moment on the call, it was like you have to remember who you are in me. Sometimes life can come so fast it shakes your faith, and distractions come so fast you can almost forget who you are in the moment because it's challenging you in so many different spaces. And it was just at that moment, God was like, I need you to understand that you have to fully give everything over to me. Because sometimes we can be like, okay, God, I got it. I've been down this road before. I'm a big girl. I'm okay. I got it. I had couple of lessons. I got a couple of wisdom. I can do this. But he said, no, I need you to understand that I completely am in control of all things. And when you think you don't have enough, first of all, you need to lean out on your own understanding anyway, because I can see something afar off that you can't. And it was just in that moment, I just had great release because I was bearing the burden of so much stuff that's been happening all around me, from the job, personal, whatever. It's just been coming like I'm in the ring with Mike Tyson. It's coming. And it was God saying, I got you. I truly have you, and I really need you to just stand and get to the end, because what's coming is greater than where you are now.
And that's good. So when I hear you say that, that's what those that feel like life is not worth living, those that feel like there is no end. I mean, there is no way out. That person that feels like they have no hope. I need you to listen to what she's saying, because what we need you to understand is that he's got you, and that wherever he has you, he's going to bring you through it. But one thing about it, it's a free will. You got to make a choice. And the choice you have to make is, do you want it? Are you willing to stand the test to get from point A to point B? And I call it this way. I say, we see it, the beginning and the end, but it's the meantime. What are you doing in your meantime to develop, to help you have enough muscle and strength to make it through? So I hear you saying that this morning. I hear you. That's what I hear you saying. You didn't have the strength, not your own strength. It wasn't in your own strength, but it was in the strength of Elohim that caused you to be able to pull up. It's almost like going up a ladder, and you got to go up a ladder one step at a time. You ain't going up no ladder, 4 and 5, unless you're an acrobat. You're not going up like that. So I want those that are listening to understand that it's vitally important to know that there is someone to pull on. There is someone that can help you through the process. And yes, not only is he in heaven, but he has those around you that are willing to help you make it through the process. Don't call me because I'm gonna say, you want to hang yourself? Go ahead, hang yourself. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be there for you. But the we need to understand that um, you're not going through by yourself, and the same creator that made it possible for you to be here is the same creator that's going to bring you through what you're going through. So I don't know if you wanted to add something else to that, Erica, before
I
I.
do, I do, if you don't mind, real quick. So the
No,
other
go
part
ahead.
that they'll get when they go back and watch it was Romans 8:14-21 says that Abraham, it was counted unto him righteousness because he was fully persuaded that God had the power and the ability to do what he had promised. That being holding on to that hope is going back to what God told you and holding on to the word that he gave you. He gave Abraham a promise, and it was 25 years before it came to pass. Now, it was a whole bunch of stuff that happened from when God talked to him and when it actually came to pass. You had the baby mama drama with Ishmael. You had stuff going on with Lot. You had all kind of drama that was happening. And then he had the promised child. But it was the fact of I had to go back to what God had promised me in the beginning, because life will get to life and the stuff will try to get you distracted and off course and you to forget what God said. And I had to go back to God, this is what you promised me. And that was my hope that I was holding on to, knowing that stuff was going to come, because I am being developed into what I'm getting developed for the other part of the blessing. I've got to be whatever version of myself I need to be. So when that blessing come, I'm prepared for it. And this is a part of that process. And and always making sure that I have my ear to God's lips, that I don't miss anything along the way. Because distractions, that's all they want to do, is to keep you from getting the revelation and the thing that God has told you. And there's sometimes, in this particular instance, God brought his word back to me and said, let's go back to the beginning, what I said the last time, and hold on to that, because I am going to do it, because my word does not lie.
Amen. That's good. And his word does not lie. I see Alicia over there. I'm sure everybody wants to jump in, but I see Alicia over there smiling. I know that. Um,
Oh no, I'm speechless, I guess. One of the things that's very fascinating as far as aha moments are concerned is that you don't get to determine, as Erica demonstrated, you don't get to determine when they come, how they happen. You don't get to determine. I think a lot of people miss aha moments because of etiquette, because of the proper way to do things, and because of, it would have been easy for her to just say, I'll hold it together until the end of the live. I'll have my moment later. And a lot of people miss powerful opportunities because of tradition. A lot of people miss powerful opportunities to hear from God because of rules and regulations. God is the creator of time. God is not bound by time. God ain't concerned with your time. Ask me how I know. One of the things that is very humbling for me is that Erica mentioned being in a year cycle 2. And that also is one of those things where a lot of people miss their revelations because, oh my God, that would be numerology. We don't deal with numerology. We don't deal with anything that thus saith the Lord is not in the Bible. From Genesis to Revelations, as one pastor freed me real good. Revelations hasn't happened yet. So it's all still in the Bible. It's all in the Bible. And when God began to deal with me on truly leaning into everything that heaven has to offer, it was all included. Everything that the church, if you will, told me to run from were the very things that really helped me. And what I mean by that is that God has placed so many, there are a myriad of things on this planet, like from the stars to nature to everything that is here on the planet has a voice. Everything that is here on the planet has been created by God. Everything that is here on, whether or not it is used in the way that God intended it to use, that's a whole nother story. But the fact that it exists, there is a reason for it. And I'll never forget crying out and asking God over and over and over and over again, what is my purpose? What is my passion? What is my calling? And Erica's story here today literally confirmed and solidified all of the work that God has been requiring me to do up until this point. I'm listening to your story. I'm listening to, and this is the thing in our community, we love the Bible. Don't get me wrong. We read the Bible, but we listen to life. Earth is always whispering what heaven needs you to know. Always whispering. Erica said everything that is in her year cycle 2. And I just want to read these little snippets, okay? Erica said, this is what Erica said. Erica said that it was still, the year was moving. It was giving her a lot. If this is my year cycle 2 of slowness, then good Lord, everything's coming at me. She says the things that she has to deal with things now, things that are representing themselves, things that are coming back. It says the 2 year is an inspiring 12-month journey in which you will find exciting connections between your past, your present, and your future. Eventually, you will be able to use this information to set an ambitious goal in motion, but make no mistake, what happens this year is going to take perseverance and, above all, great patience. She just summed all of that up in her testimony. But this is the kicker right here. It's long. I'm not going to, go through all of that, but this is the part right here. It says, let go of all that stress by letting your emotions flow freely. Once they have been expressed out of your body, you can relax. Being relaxed is being at ease with yourself. Dis-ease, illness manifests when you are not relaxed or when you are ill at ease. If you hold on to the stress and refuse to slow down, your body will become even more burdened by the pressure of the 2-cycle slower speed. Illness can result. The fact that Erica had the capacity to release her emotions and there's more room on the outside than the inside. You are always in alignment with the truth of who God has created you to be if you listen. If you don't listen, this is a true indicator right here. If you don't listen, you hold it in, you try to conform to protocol, you try to conform to the rules and regulations, you want to look a certain way. Illness is knocking at the door. Spiritually, mentally, and physically. So for those of you who have been able to witness this morning, to watch Erica's clip, to, go check out the entire clip, Erica is a true demonstration of what it looks like to be spirit-led. So thank you, Erica, for sharing. And that's the part that's really important. Do not be ashamed of how heaven works with you. Do not. And that was one of the things for me when God began to deal with me, and God was like, you gotta share you gotta share people's life paths with them. You gotta share their year cycles with them. You gotta get thee behind me, Satan. I'm not doing that because I was taught that numbers are evil, that I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that. God was like, traditions and rules will kill you. If you want to follow the traditions and you want to follow the rules, then you cannot follow me. It was that simple. And I made a decision then that, God, if it is not of you, then stop me dead in my tracks. But until then, it's full speed ahead. So thank you. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Leslie. And as Tiffany, everybody said, I yield the mic.
Oh, yeah, I just could not let that not be seen. It would not have done justice to what she was going to say. Everybody had to be in the moment. So that's why I shared it, because I wanted everybody to be in your moment and what you went through, Erica. You didn't know that it was going to end up here. You was just doing what you do on Tuesday mornings. And I love that. I love that. I love that. And that's the authentic part of the work we do. It is by the my daughter told me to stop using that word. It is so important that we understand that whatever we do, we have to be in a place that we are authentic. Every one of these ladies in each square has to be authentic in who they are. I have to be authentic in who I am. Why? Because the only way they're going to see who I'm really am is by being authentic. You don't have to do or be what someone else is. You don't have to try to be like someone else. I've always flunked at that, trying to be like somebody else. I never could do it. Um, and in the process of it, um, even now, I'm learning how to be more of me. And guess what? It's okay. I might not can speak like Erica can, or like Alicia can, or like Wanda can, or like Tiffany, or like Katrina, but I can speak the way I can speak. When you hear me, it's going to be me. So it's important, ladies, that you understand that being in the moment also means being yourself. So you have to be authentic in who you are in order for the people to get the best of who you are. So I'm gonna ask Wanda to say something. Miss Modest.
I don't know if I can. I'm sitting here listening and watching Miss Erica, and tears are just flowing because you do get to the point where you're just hit and hit and hit, and it's like a person that can't swim, and you come up for air and you go right back down, and come up for air and go right back down, and you're just fighting. And they tell a person that if you're drowning, if you would just relax, you 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 could be saved. And it's like, well, how do I relax when I'm fighting for my life?
That's good.
You know,
Good.
and you get to a point where you just feel like you're fighting for your life. And it is moments like that that help you to remember I don't have to fight for my life because my life is his. And as Miss Erica said, he said that he would never leave me nor forsake me. And and I love that passage that you were talking about, Miss Erica, because there is something that Abraham said that at some of my lowest points where I was like, I'm done with this. I can't do this no more. I'm trying to raise 8 babies by myself. And how am I gonna do this? And other stuff hitting you. Like you said, life is just life. And there is a part in there where Abraham said, I had hope against hope.
That's right. Ooh, if we could just sit with that.
Mm, 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 mm. That hope against hope. I'm trying to muster up some hope when I don't even have hope. But it's my belief in his word that gives me the hope and the strength that I need. That's why it's important that we have his word on the inside, because at those moments when we're ready to give up, the Holy Spirit can pull on that word and bring it back to your remembrance. And that's when you get up to the surface and take a breath. Even if you go back down again, you got that word that will help sustain you. And if you would just relax in that word, even though you're underwater, you can begin to swim. And so your aha moment has helped me this morning. Like Miss Alicia said, some people would miss it because they trying to be cute and proper and etiquette. And I just didn't want to fall out on the camera, but I could have.
I think we all could have.
I'm like, well, what that gonna look like? She just on the floor. But if I needed to, I could have. But yeah, that hope against hope. Somebody needs to have hope against hope this morning, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah. And look, that was like a napkin ministry moment. Where's the prayer cloth? Where's the cloth? Somebody throw the cloth over me right now, and trying to hold it together and talk after seeing that. But sometimes those are the moments you get if you listen in to the 1212 community. Sometimes, and everybody on here does not come on, but they all have a channel. If you listen into their channel, you can get those moments. There, there's support, there's help. You just don't get the moments, but you get a sense of what to do when those moments come. So it's kind of hard, but I'm gonna say, come on, Tiffany. Uh, 2 minutes.
Mine gonna take longer than 2. I'm already. This is gonna take longer than 2. I'm just trying to, but as I was listening to Erica, it pulled me right back into a moment when we have a child with unique needs. Some people call it special needs. And I remember, just to kind of paint a picture briefly. So from age 2 to age 6. No, from age 2 to age 8. That was 6 years. Imagine having a child with special needs and you trying to figure it out. Because you don't know what you're dealing with. And Rick and I, we were praying for healing, a miraculous healing. We was like, God, we don't know what it is. Either heal him or tell us what we need to do. And God sent angels our way. One of my angels, it was my girlfriend, Sanithia. She helped me so much. And she her first thing she said, Tiffany, watch the dyes in his food, the food dyes. Because he was a battery all day long. He just would not sit down. He wouldn't stop. We were prisoners in our own home. We couldn't go anywhere. And if we did, we're dragging him out. It was a horrible space for 6 years. And, you know, I remember the aha moments when God was like, I heard it clear as day. He said, there's healing in the earth. It's healing in the earth. So I was like, well, God, okay, all right. I'm all about herbs and oils and all of the things, essential oils. But it was hard. It was a really hard time. And what God showed us, my husband and I, was that in order to help our child, we had to focus on ourselves as well. And God was like, your kitchen is your medicine cabinet. So we had to be that's where our journey started. So yes, we took the dyes out, but when we finally got his gut health together, when I tell you it was night and day, night and day. We went from a child that could not sit. We did everything doctor told us to do. Get a trampoline. We bought an outdoor trampoline and put it in the middle of our living room. Took up the whole space. We had enough room on our couch just to have our seat. first day we put him in that thing, he jumped literally for 5 hours straight, nonstop. Had I not seen it for myself, when we took him to a birthday party and the cupcakes had red icing. We didn't give Cameron sweets at all. If he went to a birthday party, that's the only time we would allow him to do that. I watched my child take a cupcake with red icing and bit into it. He turned into something, he morphed into something in front of me. Because my girlfriend had said, take him off the dyes, take him off the dyes. But had I not seen that for myself and witnessed it for myself, I would not have known it. So, long story short, although God, we were praying for something miraculous, like Lord, heal our child, or, do whatever, like miraculously, but God wanted us to be productive in his healing. Our child's healing wasn't going to come like this. We had to do the work. We had to clean our kitchen out. We had to get off, like, I could go on and on about the food, the quality of the food, the chemicals in the food, and all of the things. But as soon as we shift it and got his gut health together, he was the changed child, to the point when his pediatrician saw him, because she was like, you need to put him on something like some ADHD medication. Like that's my recommendation. And I understand why she said it, I understand it, but my husband and I, we were very adamant on not going that route. Now, I'm not saying, because this is just our story. And we were just adamant, and we was like, we don't want, like, God is not telling us to do that. And we had to hear from God. And we had switched his, diet all around. It was worse before it got better, because when you change now we didn't go cold turkey with it, but we had to gradually change him. So it got worse before it got better. And the next time the doctor saw him, and she was like, he's a different child. Like, what are you doing? And we were like, we focused on his nutrition. We focused on what he put on and in his body, because the skin matters as well. The skin is the largest organ in the body, and we throw a whole lot of stuff on it and in it. So, as Erica was talking, it just took me to that place where while I was waiting, I was good, but I was at my boiling point. And at that time, we were getting phone calls from his school to come get him literally every day. Come get him. So I had to come and get him every day from school. And the second angel that entered my life, her name is Brigitte. And I had ran into her, and every time I would go out, people would always, everyone would always ask about Cameron, because he left an impressionable impression, because we were dragging him out of somewhere. Major meltdowns, major meltdowns. So when she asked me that, I had just got off the phone. I was in the car, and I had just got off the phone with the school, and they were like, come get your child. And when she asked me that, I just fell in her arms crying. I fell in her arms, and I was like, I just can't take it no more. Like, I just couldn't do it anymore. And then she was like, Tiff, like, think about putting herbs in his, diet and stuff like that. And then, and the story goes on. So my aha moment was like just with our child and all of the challenges we had, and during that space of waiting, we were praying and waiting and being active in following what God was telling us to do. So
Yeah.
good,
And
Mike. I'm sorry, y'all. I took all the time.
look, these ladies are sharing their stories. Uh, I think about Wanda with her 8 children, 2 of them, 2 sets of twins, not one set of twins, 2 sets of twins in there. It's not that they were, not separate. I was watching this show yesterday. It's What You Are, What You Eat. And they were doing surveys with twins to see the difference. And they were identical twins, but one was heavier than the other, one was more active than the other. So I can imagine, they're grown now, but I can imagine having small children and having 2 sets of twins along with the other ones. I can imagine. I think about Tiffany and the process that they went through, and how they didn't have an answer. They didn't know what they were going to do, and that how the Father sent angels in to help them, to show them and give them directions. One of the things that I was told was that I don't have enough. Let me say it right: testosterone on the show. So we gonna work on that. But uh, we are who we are. We are who we are. And the reason why we share who we are is because we want you to have a better version of you, and to let you know that you can succeed. You can make it. You can be the best version that you can be. And it starts with you. It starts with you asking, forgiving yourself, first of all. Let's start right there, forgiving ourselves. And then let's think about, how impatient are you in waiting on the Father and what He's promised you, what He's assigned you to do, and it seems like it's not coming to pass? Are you patient enough to wait? It says patient is a virtue. Are you patient enough to wait? Are you patient enough to be able to see the end? What's the old people used to say? I'm going to run on to see what the end's going to be. Are you patient enough to see what your end is going to be without ending it before time? When it's time for you to go, you'll go. You don't need to help it. You'll go. But you got to make a decision. All right, Katrina. Uh, I was waiting. You looked like you was doing something over there. I was trying to let you finish to do whatever you was doing, but I know you got a lot to say, Miss Beautiful. Come on with it.
I, I don't have a lot to say. I picked up on a couple things as everyone was talking, and like the one thing, Alicia, when she said that everything has a voice, I immediately wrote down, how will you use yours? Because I think when we're going through something, right, the instinct is to immediately withdraw and go in hiding. But it's in sharing our story that others get to see that there's still something beautiful in the moment, right? I don't want to be responsible for anyone not getting what God needs them to get. So if that means I got to sit on a microphone and be there by myself, then that's what I have to do. But then I think where I have also been in a place that is, when you're walking in beautiful, you always think it's going to feel good, right? That it has to feel good, that oh, it's beautiful, I want to create this beautiful life. But I'm example of, when I'm sitting in it, it's not going to always feel beautiful. There are going to be dark moments. There are going to be moments when you question everything about your being, because it's supposed to be beautiful. God, why are you taking me through this? But I'm understanding that it's in those moments, that's when it's time for us to surrender. Like there's something that we need to release. There's something that we need to realign with. There's something that we just need to be still with and sit in that waiting and understanding, okay, God, I give it all to you. I can't control anything. I can't control what's taking place. I can't control how others respond. I can't control how I respond. What is it that you need me to see, hear, and feel in this very moment? So that's all I got.
Well, I don't know what the problem is. That was a whole mouthful right there. And the first one you said was, how would I use my voice? Am I saying it correctly?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's very powerful. How will we use our voice? What will we do with what's inside of us? What will we do with that broken place, as you said, that place that, there's moments where you just don't want to get out the bed. There's moments when you walking through the room darkly. You're you don't know your left from your right. You know, you're not sure if you're going up or down. Like Erica said, having a thermometer, to gauge and that up and down, space. All these things are a part of our lives. And one thing about women, and I'm not making this all about women, but we really work in our emotions. We really come from our emotions, become a big part of where we're going through and what we're going through. And I think that we have to learn how to go beyond our emotion. Now, that's the hard part, going beyond the emotions to bring forth the authentic you, because we live from the emotional standpoint in our lives more than we do from the authentic. Why? That thermometer, is it barometer or thermometer? You said barometer, right? Um, in our lives is up and down. It is going up and down. And in the moments that we seem to feed off are is the down moments, because we can't see past that moment. But when we allow and begin to put that word in it, understand the word, live out the word, when you hear, once you get into that word, you'll be here. Does that mean that you've already gone through? Not all the time. But what it means, I can have joy in that moment that I felt low. Why? Because there is an answer. The promise is still yea and amen. And I don't know if anybody else has anything else to say. I'm gonna allow Alicia to close us out or say the last words. But before she does anybody else want to say anything? Because go ahead, Tiffany, because this is a powerful conversation. And the conversation you were talking about with Cam, that's a whole nother entity that we need to tap into. Those dyes, that's that's real. And it's not just for children that have a need. That's all children. That's all children. Tiffany, you wanted to say something?
Actually, I didn't.
Oh, you was laughing. I said, oh, she got something she want to say.
No. If I had to say anything, like, um, there is hope. I just wanted to encourage whoever that touched. There is hope out there. It's things out there that can make it better. That's it.
But you know what? I can't leave out, everybody's our guest, but I can't leave out our guest today, Erica. Erica, Thank you for setting the stage. Thank you. You set the stage today. Is there anything else you would like to say?
I just want to piggyback on what Katrina said about the power of your voice.
Yes.
The trick of the enemy, when we really understand what power we have, the trick of the enemy is for us to talk out of turn. And it's in those places where we're being stretched and where God when we have agreed with heaven that he wants us to talk our own self out of our blessed place. Even in a process that we're
That's
going
right.
through, he wants us to talk us out. So he can say, it wasn't me, it was them. Right? So even though times, and I have, through learning how to use my voice the right way,
Mm-hmm.
I have learned that the learning curve is shorter, the revelation is greater, and the process is not as longer when I use my voice the right way.
Come on now.
Because in all that I have gone through, I have always said, God, I trust you.
Me too.
I know you. I have repeated his word back to him. Now, the old version of me would have said all type of stuff, and I probably would have still been going through this a couple more years down the road. But because I'm standing firm on what I know his word says, even though I can't see it yet, but I understand it and I trust it and I believe it. It's so much that's come through the process. And just when Alicia was talking about the year cycle too, I have, instead of me holding on to stuff, we're going to have a conversation. We're going to talk about it. We're going to deal with the emotions and we're going to move on, because I will not repeat this process again. You get to a point, you're not going to keep repeating stuff. And God said, okay, pop quiz, we're going to do it again. No, I want to catch the lesson. And if it means that I've got to go put myself in a corner and sit down and have a little talk with Jesus, that's what we're going to do. Because you can't afford to miss these moments, because there sometimes you don't get a do-over and a repeat. You've got to catch it in the moment. And the power of your words is so important, because you frame your life with your words.
Right.
You can, in your process of being beautiful, and God gives you a canvas for your life, you have the ability with the words that you speak to paint a beautiful life, because of the words you do speak, even in the midst of a trial and a tribulation. And therefore I digress and I yield the mic. I love you all. Thank you so much.
That's powerful, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you, Erica, for at the last moment saying you would love to come on. We're glad that you were here, um, to share so many powerful tips and points. And I want to say thank you to everybody. I thought about the dark moment, and what I thought about was, at some you cannot be afraid of your dark moments. When people can't see their way, a lot of times they become afraid. You got to go through that dark moment, but you don't go through by yourself. But those dark moments is what causes the light to shine. No light can shine unless there's a dark place for it to shine through. Don't be afraid of your dark moments. Embrace them. Embrace the Father. Allow him to. He's saying, I got you anyway. And there's angels that's all around that's bringing you through. That's a whole nother thing. We could just take a moment and talk about the angels that's around us, and the angels that's leading and have instructions for us. And guess what? If you really read the word, most of those angels spoke to you in the dark moments when you're sleeping. When you read it, they said, I was sleeping and the angel came to me. I was sleeping and Elohim came to me, woke me up, and this is what he gave me instructions. He don't be afraid, and I'm gonna stop here. Don't be afraid of your dark moments. those moments you think that there's no light. Light, and I used to always say this, light is at the end of the tunnel. And and I don't say it now because I understand, but if you're in a space and you can't see, I promise you there's light that's coming in your direction. If you hold on, that hold on piece is to be faithful. Don't try to figure it out and work it out yourself, but allow Elohim to instruct you. Allow the angels to grab you by the hands and pull you along the way and say, this is where the light will shine. Eric, I mean, Alicia.
Okay, I was checking my buttons over here. Look, I'm trying to use all this technology, right? So I'm learning because okay, so this is funny to me. So I'm trying to record what you're saying and share it with the TikTok people. And so I don't know how all of this is working, but it is funny to me because I'm like, everybody needs to hear this and know this. So I'm trying to get it out as much as I can. So we'll see how all of this works. But one of the things that I did want to say is don't miss your miracle, don't miss your assignment, don't miss anything because you are, first of all, afraid. And secondly, you think it's supposed to look like something that is not. The miracle matches the time. The miracle matches the time. And
Wow.
so when God began to deal with me, because a lot of times we get so stuck on the Bible, we get so stuck on how talking donkeys and parting of the Red Sea and turning the water into wine because it matched the time. Because it matched the time. And a lot of people, they're like, well, I don't see Jesus turning water into wine. I don't see donkeys talking. I don't see bushes burning.
You
We
better
don't
come on
need talking donkeys because we have cars now. We don't need,
here.
how many times have you be like, Lord, I got like 2 miles to empty. The gas station is 10
Right,
miles away,
right.
so boom, that's your talking donkey when you get to the gas station without, having the gas that that you need. And so many people miss the opportunity to be a part, the greater part of God's plan because we are restricting heaven into what we think it should look like. And this is why traditions, this is why the way your mama them did it, your big mama them did it, this is not the proper way to do it. We've got to step outside of that. We've
Yes.
got to allow God to be great in the time in which we live. And we've got to allow heaven to be great in the way that the time dictates. And so the scenarios that you have in your life are the indicators of how heaven has to work. Heaven has to work with what you give heaven. Heaven works with the pieces. And I learned this so many years ago. And if I can share it real quickly, the morning the day that the tire blew out on our minivan, and I was upset with God because that night I got home, because kind of like Erica's story earlier, I was done. I was like, everything that's going on, Lord, now you're trying to take my life. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? You trying to blow the tire out and just take me on out? And God was like, that is so far from heaven's intention. And God said, what do you always, how Erica was like, you repeat back what you've heard God said. Honey, God will flip that thing on a dime. Like God would turn that thing around so quick. Because I'm always repeating, everything is going to work out for the good of those who love and serve the Lord. It's like you put that back. God, I love you. I'm serving you. I'm doing all of these things for you. Now you're trying to kill me. God turned the thing around so quick. All things work together for the good of those who
All
love.
things.
All things. God said, what did you give me this morning? What did you give heaven this morning to work with? All of the things that you give heaven. We think that heaven can pick and choose all of the good things that are out there and put them in our pot and mix them together and make it good for us. God said we work with the reserves that you provide us.
Mhm.
What did you give us this morning? You cussed your husband out. You
Mm.
dropped your kids off without saying goodbye. You're rushing here. You're doing that. You're fussing. You're cussing people out in traffic. God was like, even the world knows that if you can turn cow dung into fertilizer. Like you can take the worst of anything and turn it into something. And God was like, if you want better results, then give heaven better things. So when we're talking about the aha moments and we're talking about what we want heaven to do for us, then we have to truly consider, what are we doing for heaven? What are we giving to heaven? So every time something comes back to you and it's not the way that you want it to be, then you have to seriously ask yourself, what did I give heaven to get these results? So that's all I got. But have fun with that.
Look, I mean, all of you are powerful, and everything you said was good. When you said, "What did you give heaven this morning?" I was thinking not much because I forgot about the time change. So when I woke up and I went to start doing my devotions and stuff, and it was looked at the clock, and I was like, "Oh, let me go get ready." So, but I'm gonna give him his time. But so I'm trying to say maybe this morning I ain't give him as much as I needed to. No, I'm just kidding. I just had to throw that in there about the time change. Don't pay me no mind. But thank you, each and every one of you. Yes, I like to be silly and I like to joke. I do. Um, but this was a good conversation. This was powerful, and I appreciate each and every one of you on. Listen, listen, listen. We got two conference. One, we got a relationship conference coming up. I know I'm calling it wrong. We got a beautiful conference coming up. Uh, Katrina, tell them how they could. I put everybody's information in the description, but how can they link up and find out about you?
Okay, so thank you. So June 8th, I am following in on my assignment of creating a space for women to embrace and empower and enhance their beautiful. It's called A Beautiful Encounter. It happens June 8th here in Bowie, Maryland. You can go to abeautiful.eventbrite.com for
And
tickets.
tell us your three speakers.
So I have the beautiful Alicia Johnson of the 1212 community. I have Vanessa Burns from the She Is Free Collective. If you want somebody to help inspire you joy, Vanessa is it. She is the joy junkie. And then I have the beautiful Dr. Vicki Johnson of Soul Wealth. When I tell you, y'all will be blessed, you will be blessed. You just have to be in a room. Like I cannot, no introductions, no bio reading, or nothing is going to give these ladies any justice to what they do. To share the impact that they have had on my life. Like I would not be doing this without them. The little birdie sitting right there, Alicia, right? The gentle pushes. I'm so grateful for. So come on and experience a beautiful encounter.
So you got two junkies. You got the beautiful junkie and you got the joy
The joy
junkie.
junkie.
Should be a real good conference. Come on, Tiffany, talk about yours.
Oh, so my husband and I, we are doing a marriage self-carecation. The date has not been released, but the contract has been signed. So stay tuned. If you are not on our platforms of Facebook and Instagram, we do have a website. It's teamchilds with the s.org. you can go to the contact page and leave your information and put marriage retreat in there, and you will be in the know. So,
Thank you.
this is all about self-care for couples from a spiritual, mental, and physical perspective. It's like no other marriage outing you have ever experienced. If you know Rick and I, you are in for a treat. So hope you all can join us. So stay tuned.
Don't worry, Rick. I'm gonna turn this around. I'm gonna turn this around. It ain't gonna be all women. Erica, I don't know if you have anything coming up.
I do. I actually have some dates that are coming up for a conference that I will be releasing soon. So they could go to www.ericabishop.com. It will be a weekend retreat for soul care. So looking forward to that later on this summer.
Amen. Alicia, you got something going on I don't know about?
No, ma'am. I'll just be in attendance where everybody is. That's I'm excited to just show up and be a part. That's my goal this year.
Well, thank you, each and every one of you. We want you out there to be blessed. We want you to know that anything you need is available. What do I mean by that? You were not created without the answer to everything you need. So I want you to be encouraged. And yes, I'm old school, as Alicia said. She's like, that ain't all the Bible. Well, I'm sorry. I'm kind of hooked on that. So, but yeah, we have to have a balance. I'm not saying we don't have a balance. I have a balance. Yes, I do. But I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. And we look forward to seeing you next Sunday. And until then, have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And remember, do not be afraid of your dark places, because your light comes when it shines when it's dark. So have a big day. We love you. We want you to know to keep your head up. Don't allow your inner voice, your emotions, to overtake who you really are. Till we see you again, remember you're loved. And there's nothing we can do about it, because it's Elohim's love that overtakes you. Have a beautiful day, and thank you.